about event design. There's two schools of thought. Let's start with the first one. I call it flat structure. It's also called high cardinality. Cardinality means what's the total amount of unique events that you have. What's the problem or what's the challenge with high cardinalities? It means that you have a lot of unique event names. I have this example, which I actually took from a client exercise. This is what we get with like maximal cardinality. What this customer actually had is that they had maximum cardinality to start with. It was an airline or travel company. And what they wanted us to do is they wanted to keep track of errors. Errors is a proxy or representative of anything else that you can think of. It could be button selected. It could be forms, right? Instead of having date error encountered, it could be blue button selected. Instead of button error encountered, it could be yellow button selected. Doesn't really matter. It's the ID behind it. So what we get here is a large cardinality, meaning the cardinality is 6. We have 6 individual events. What does it actually mean in Amplitude? In general, if you have high cardinality in your account is going to look like mine. But basically, this is the amount of events I have. If I'm an analyst, good luck for me to find out whatever I need, right? It's going to be a nightmare. Imagine that somebody asks me, what's the error that we trigger the most? So I know we have a date encounter, a booking, a seating, a luggage, a payment, and a ticket. So in order for me to answer that question, I need to start and go for like, okay, I need booking encountered, this, I'm going to do total events, get rid of the group by, and we have error encounter, I have the booking, I have the luggage, I have the date. You get the idea, right? It takes me quite a while to basically do a very simple operation. I'm going to ask for a bar chart and it's going to give me, hey, these are the errors you actually encountered. Now, imagine we start with 3 errors instead of the original 6. I save this dashboard, which means I save this configuration. Again, I'm talking about errors. It could be anything else. As soon as I save this dashboard, it's kind of cast in stone in terms of setup, right? The data will refresh and it will keep populating just like charts and dashboards do. But imagine tomorrow an engineer adds a 4th error. The analyst or the person in charts keeps analyzing the most popular errors through this dashboard. The 4th error will never appear because in the configuration, no 4th error was added. That's kind of what you can get with high cardinality as well as a bypass. Now, if we look at a potential solution or the solution as far as I'm concerned, what we get here is we get maximal abstraction or low cardinality. And in this case, we only have one event, which is error encountered. But what we actually do is we change the payload. What we say is we add properties to contextualize this event. As a result, my total amount of events in my dropdown is going to drastically reduce, and I'm going through some sort of a decision tree which should be logical through event design. If somebody asks you which error is selected the most, I'm just going to pick at the first level error encountered. And what I'm going to do next is I see there's a property called error category. I'm going to break it down by that category to figure out which error is the most important or the most triggered. So what I'm going to do here is I have this event somewhere in my setup. I'm going to ask for error encountered. I have 254 events. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ask it for the error type. It's not error type, it's error name that I need. Sorry for that. And what you see is that it's automatically breaking it down for me. So tomorrow, an engineer can add 5 more errors. As long as I have this chart saved, it's automatically going to do all of the work for me. On top, I have this very logical structure that I can explore as an analyst. As my product grows, I'm going to have more and more events, but I'm certainly going to have more property values for a specific property, which allows me to analyze it further. Imagine, I don't know how many colors there are in the world or that designers use, but imagine there's 100. I'm going to use a very stupid example, but it could mean that you have yellow button selected times 100 because there's 100 colors. It makes more sense to have button selected where the color type is one of these 100 values. And so it keeps everything nice and tidy. If you're interested to learn more, this article, Hands-on Event Design with Amplitude, I took a screenshot of it. It's also on our website, but it describes this actual use case and this example of where it can go wrong and what you should take into account. But I think that answers mostly, and that's why I wanted to start with this, event design and robust design. So first of all, take into account design principles for events, meaning try to reduce cardinality. Don't go for a long list of individual events. Go for a selective list of events that is representative for a lot of actions, but tailor it or provide context with properties, because at that point, Amplitude will do the work for you rather than the analyst clicking around and making mistakes, which is unavoidable.